Welcome to MetalVice in 666. I'm your host, Karen, joined with my other host.
Brian.
And Brian, what are we going to talk about today?
Today there's this concept I've been thinking about a lot. It's sort of this idea of a forever band. And we'll start the timer and we'll get into where this came from and my thoughts on it and your thoughts. Start the timer now. Okay. So in July of 2019, Corey Taylor did an interview with Metal Hammer in which he said this.
If I couldn't do it anymore, I just stop. But that doesn't mean that the band would stop. If I can't do it, then someone might be able to take my place.
Right. So this thought of Corey Taylor not in Slipknot, and that's in reference to Slipknot, obviously, of him saying he couldn't do it. Around this time too, or a little bit later, I think it was, he was coming out with the solo album as well, and it kind of like in my mind was like, oh, is Corey gonna leave Slipknot and do his own shit now?
Yeah, I remember you saying that, like when he came out with CMFT or whatever, that you were like, well, I think he's leaving.
Yeah. He hasn't. There's another album. This is old news, right? This is like 4 years old now, right?
Yeah.
But ever since then, I've been thinking of this concept in my head of, well, what if he left? What would happen to the band of Slipknot? Could you find another singer and replace them? I kind of think maybe you could. I know we've talked about this a little bit, and I think you're a little different. You think like Corey is...
I'm not saying Corey is Slipknot, because obviously one person doesn't necessarily make or break a band. But in my mind, with Corey Taylor's voice and his sound, it would be odd for me to listen to Slipknot with a different singer. I think. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it would be better. Maybe it would be fine. Maybe I wouldn't have any opinions on it. But right now, just thinking about it, Corey Taylor's voice is Slipknot to me.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely that aspect of it, that Corey Taylor's voice is Slipknot. Like, his voice is a defining characteristic of the sound of the band.
Yep.
And like most vocalists, they are like the sound of the band to some extent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Other bands have lost members and replaced them and continue to go.
Of course.
Other bands
Slipknot's lost members and replaced them.
Exactly. I was going to get to that too.
It's just not the lead singer for Slipknot's.
Right, but I mean, like, then there's your other bands, like Linkin Park. Chester passed away, and they basically stopped. They're not doing anything anymore. They might do something down the road, maybe later. Is it still going to be Linkin Park? Is it going to be different? I don't know.
Yeah. That's another unique voice.
Yeah. Led Zeppelin, John Bonham, they lost their drummer, and they're like, we're done. We can't do this anymore. Like, your drummers who you lost, and you're like, no, we're done. We're not playing. We're done. Queen lost Freddie Mercury. It took a long ass fucking time for them to find a replacement, and I don't even think they were like looking for a replacement. It just sort of they happened upon it, and like, so like there's that concept of some people you'll lose somebody from a band, and the band's just like either in memory of that person or they were so influential to the band we're calling it done.
Yeah, I remember this specifically from when we saw Static X in 2019, I think.
Yep.
Shortly after Wayne passed away. So I don't know when.
Wayne Static.
Yeah, no. I was going to say I don't know the date that he passed away. Yeah. But I know that the singer at the time got up and said, you guys didn't think that we could go on. We didn't know if we could go on. But here we are doing this. And then, I mean, they're touring again. So, I mean.
Touring again. They have another album.
Yeah, they're making new music.
But that's music with Wayne Static.
It is, yeah.
So it's not necessarily new music,
Yeah, that's true. But, yeah, I mean, I thought hearing him in 2019 was fantastic. I only knew a couple other songs back then, but it sounded fine to me.
Yeah, and it was a great show. They put on a great show.
100%.
But to me, like even, so I have a friend that I talk to. He's a big Deadhead. Going to see Grateful Dead later this summer with him, and it's their final tour as well. And somebody was like, "It really sucks that they're breaking up. They're not going to be like they're done after this. This is their final tour." And his response is, "The music will go on. They're going to come back in some different reincarnation and continue on the music." And that also spurred this thought of like, kind of along with Corey Taylor leaving and you brought this up, that they've lost other members of the band. Mm-hmm. And I've always heard stories or read articles that like the core of the band was Sean, Joey, and Paul. Those three would come into the studio and they'd beat out the riffs. They'd figure out what's going on. Like they'd figure out the core of what this album's going to be like. And then the others would come in and add on top of what they've already built. And even recently, I think I saw an interview with Corey, or he mentioned it somewhere. I saw it somewhere. I don't know where I saw it, but he basically said Slipknot is Sean's clown. It's his baby. This is his thing.
Yeah.
And he's been there from the beginning. I think he's the only member now who's been there from the beginning. There are members who are like a year or two later. Like Max has basically been there from it. Jim's been there almost from the beginning. Corey's been there almost from the beginning. So it's like there is still that core of the band that's been there near the beginning, not like 95 beginning or whatnot, right?
Yeah.
But 99 onwards when their first album came out. But as people would come in and out of the band, you have a new member come in, give them a new mask, give them a new character.
Yeah.
But still play the music, still play and have the core of what the music is and what the energy and the visuals and the whole experience of Slipknot is.
Right.
So I guess I could see that continuing as Corey leaves. Like, to me, I agree. His voice is what Slipknot is.
Yeah.
But the next vocalist comes in and it's
different.
Now this is what Slipknot is.
Yeah. Slipknot has it's not only Slipknot, but they have a unique place where they do wear masks. So you could technically replace anybody and just give them a new mask and nobody would know.
Right.
I mean, they had Tortilla Face like back in like 2021
when he was like
whatever.
Unnamed and
whatnot,
right?
Like people were trying to figure. It was like a huge thing. Like, who is this person?
But I mean, that's what it was originally too, which is really kind of cool to like bring that aspect of it back of like they're not known who they are underneath what they look like, and that I think that was fun. Yeah.
But I mean, other bands don't have that. An article I just saw today. Actually, I didn't know we were going to record this, but today was, I think a previous singer for 3 Days Grace sang with them for 2 tours or something.
Oh, really?
Where like the 3 Days Grace singer that we've seen multiple times is like the sound that I think of, where it's a different singer.
Oh, for 3 Days Grace, right?
Yeah. But the same singer that we've seen is the singer that we've seen every single time.
Yeah.
So.
And we're at time.
Yeah.
The one thing I just want to continue is just say real quick to close it out is that if people leave, you can replace them, and the masks help a lot to kind of keep that core console around. But I guess what I would like to see is 50 years from now, 75 years from now, Slipknot still being a band with completely new members who are in the band that weren't alive when they first were in the band.
That'd be awesome.
But still maintaining what Slipknot is, the sound, the music, the vibe, the showmanship, like everything that Slipknot is. Just I want to see that 50 years from now with like you can expand it to new influences and new people bring their own experiences and their own cultures, and like you can start melding a lot together. I like the idea of forever bands. I don't think it works for every band, but I think for Slipknot it could work.
Okay.
Anyway, just a thought. This one ran a little long. Just thought I've been having for a few years now, obviously. So, I guess we'll catch you next time.
Bye.